Let's talk a little bit about fake news. We've been hearing a lot about it, but what does it mean, and how do we tell the difference between what's true, what's a lie, and what may be fake news? We've had points in history when people thought news was fake. So John Glenn orbiting the Earth, people were skeptical of. This actually was false when the Daily Tribune reported that Dewey defeated Truman. This, of course, is Harry S. Truman, who won the election. We also had a scare where Orson Welles recorded a radio broadcast that many people thought was news of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds that people really believed, but he intended to be entertainment. We have people who are crossing the line between news and entertainment. Brian Williams was appearing on late night television and embellishing his experiences in war. It ended up costing him his seat in the NBC anchor chair. Then we have people who overtly try to subvert the truth. This is Jason Blair. He made up a variety of stories while he was a reporter for the New York Times, and actually is quite legendary because of it. And then we have people who unintentionally are duped in a way, or just do bad reporting, such as Sabrina Erdely, who wrote the story on rape on campus for the Rolling Stone that ended up in a fairly substantial libel verdict. Tabloids publish fake news all the time, but in fact, it's sensationalistic, and they have historically done so. People take this information, skeptically to begin with, but what do you do with information like this when it appears now on a website that can be created in minutes? What do you do when you have sites that appear to be, have conventional news, have news that is accurate, and then we have items like these? Is this a real site or not? We're beginning to really blur the lines of what we can believe, and we have news sources that are deliberately seeking to obscure the truth or publish falsehoods in order to sway the public's perception. Now, there's also behavior that's really hard to believe is accurate and true that actually is true, and so we're really having a hard time deciding what's outlandish and what's not. We're also having circumstances where people can publish what they see as soon as they see it, such as these tweets that went out about this protest, that it turned out that, of course, the protest was actually organic and the buses were there for another reason. And this gentleman who posted this said that he didn't have time to fact check everything. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we're facing with social media. There are sites such as Snopes where you can go and dispute information and see whether or not it's true. But there's people who are deliberately trying to deceive us, such as this ABC News site that is abcnews.com.co, which is not the real ABC News. And so when they post information and people do a search for ABC News, they think they're getting the accurate site, and they're not. There's also this mix of advertising that's going in with our editorial, and that makes it more difficult to identify what's real. People don't necessarily know to be skeptical. They don't know how to confirm or double check things. And that's going to be a key part of our news consumption moving forward, is to look for multiple sources and ensure that the information that you're getting comes from somewhere reputable and is realistic and has potential to be successful and truthful. Although, the deliberacy at which people are trying to deceive us makes it very difficult to tell. So, this is a made-up press release that really got published from a made-up organization, but it sure does look realistic, doesn't it? And there's people who are kind of clouding what is fake news because they are throwing that label around on news sites that really don't function in the fake news sphere. And so when we call CNN fake news, we're really undermining all of journalism.